Hello, everyone. Dr. Eames here. This time, I'd like to talk to you about the new media and integrated brand promotion, IBP. Well, over the last few years, consumer preferences have changed, and we've had new technologies evolve and develop, and they've really reshaped the communication environment, and they've reshaped our culture. The lines between information and entertainment, networking, and so forth, all the commercial messages that we're exposed to are really becoming quite blurred for most people. And it's not that mass media is dead. And by what I mean by that is the old traditional medias of television and radio and magazines and so forth. Um, they're mass media for a reason. They reach a large number of people. And they're not finished. They're being supplemented and used in new ways. And they're supported by all sorts of these new ways to reach consumers. And that's what IBP is about, reaching and engaging consumers and getting that brand message that you want them to have in their minds. So we have marketing analysts out there who speculate that advertising and IBP and marketing overall will generally become much more digital over time, more interactive, more social. And we see this happening today. We shouldn't be intimidated by the word digital or any of that. Digital simply means that we can access it through electronic means. We're on the internet, we're using the computer and browser technology and so forth. And so we already have been using digital for quite some time. It's just now that marketing has really moved into the digital realm in a way that is quite huge and has transformed everything. Um, so analysts do speculate this will increase over time, and it is the largest trend that we see out there. The reasoning isn't hard to understand. We see it all around us. But not all firms have fully exploited all those opportunities out there that are presented by these new forms of media. And so, what I'm talking about here are things like the social networking sites and the fact that we can be mobile at the same time we're getting our messages and so forth. And many firms still have yet to understand how to make this work for them, and so forth, how to get the right companies and what do you choose for the tools and so forth. Well, advertising has the largest number of tools, and therefore it's the largest component of IBP overall. And advertising has been so pervasive over the last few years, it would be reasonable to expect that all of you probably have your own working definition for this really critical term. But advertising really is a term that's changing with the times as well. An informed perspective on advertising today would go beyond a traditional definition, um, beyond what is the obvious and what can be seen on a daily basis. And we would realize that advertising is very distinctive, it's very recognizable as a form of communication, and it has three very essential elements. It's a paid sponsorship, it has mass media use, and the intent of the whole thing is simply to persuade a consumer to do something, to take a step, to take some action. And so IBP, integrated brand promotion, is the use of many promotional tools, many of which are advertising tools. So that's included. And the use of these tools in a coordinated manner to build and maintain brand awareness, brand identity, and brand preference in the minds of consumers. So today we have really reached the point where we have mobile marketing. And this is really communicating with your target market through their mobile devices, like their smartphone or their iPad or a variety of tablet devices. So that's where advertising has moved. Now, the new media includes so many things. We're talking about social networking websites of all types. Really, any website that you visit could be considered part of the new media. And so IBP is going to consider in any advertising campaign that's put together the use of any of these various tools and locations and so forth to get their message across. So it doesn't matter what we label these things, whether we call it old media or new digital media, it has still become focused today on the brand. It is all about the brand. So no matter how much the technology changes or how many new media options and opportunities become available to us for delivering our marketing messages, it's still about the brand. And so the use of Facebook or Twitter doesn't change the fundamental challenge and opportunity that we need to communicate effectively about the brand and the brand's values and so forth. So as you can see here, the various categories in this graphic, this is really the modern business context. Now, the one I would really like to draw your attention to is the one on the bottom right, where I'm mentioning Google and how they have revolutionized online advertising. And they have simply used the latest technology, and it's pay-per-click is really what's happened here. Their AdWords technology is part of the IBP approach to using digital media and so forth to reach consumers. And so this is excellent for the people who want to provide products and services. It provides an economical way that cuts across size of business and economic status, because if you only have to pay for the number of clicks that consumers make, then those clicks, certain amounts of those clicks will turn into sales, hopefully for you, and things will work out. So advertising itself um, is incredibly important. And it's not really a process, though, that the average person understands or even values. In fact, there is a lot of negativity out there that exists about the field of advertising in general. There are those people out there who believe that advertising is deceptive, but they never think that they can be deceived themselves. So that's always interesting. It's rarely themselves that could be deceived by some advertising. And many people think also that it's sort of at best, a semi-glamorous sort of profession, but one in which people are generally they're morally bankrupt, or they're con artists, or they're pathological liars of some sort, intent only on defrauding you and taking your money. And this attitude has been around for quite some time, generations upon generations in America in particular. It has its own stereotypes attached to it. At worst, I would say that advertising is seen as hype. It's seen as unfair capitalistic manipulation. It's commercial noise to some. To others, they take it to the extreme. It's mind control, outright deception. But really, it is behavior that is perception on the part of consumers. And so some consumers are going to be on one end of the continuum of perception, and they may believe those negative things about advertising. But it is a continuum where many people also believe other things about advertising. So at best, the average person sees advertising maybe as amusing, not as deceptive. They see it as informative. They might find it somewhat annoying, but also sort of helpful. They might find it occasionally cool or interesting or intriguing. And so we're all going to fall somewhere on that continuum of behavior on how we feel about advertising itself, and certainly about IBP. Because what has happened, the advertising that we're used to seeing, print ads and things like that, have graduated into videos, and now those things have moved into the social media and digital media sites and so forth. And so these attitudes about advertising can be improved simply by being good at what you do as marketer and being ethical, certainly. The truth about advertising really does lay somewhere between those extremes. But today we really are in a changing environment that has evolved into IBP. And we would have to, I think, agree that sometimes advertising is hard hitting and powerful. At other times it's quite boring, and we can tell that it's quite ineffective. But I think we might all be able to agree that, if anything, advertising is anything but unimportant. Okay, folks, that's all I want to talk about this time. I'll talk to you again soon.